we're going to master the absolute most critical elements of digital storytelling: controlling time and, crucially, controlling audience attention. Look, whether you're creating a punchy short piece or a sprawling narrative, if you can't control the flow, you lose the audience. So we're going to look at the exact mechanics the pros use to keep viewers glued to the screen right up to the very final frame. Think of this as our production call sheet for the day. Moving straight from the storyboard to the editing bay, we'll cover controlling narrative flow, choosing effective transitions, maintaining logical coherence, orchestrating emotion and tone, the table read test, and finally, earning your resolution. Let's roll.
Section 1. Controlling narrative flow, modulating tension and relief. This right here is the foundation of everything we build.
Okay, let's dive into this. Pacing. It's essentially the rhythm of your scenes unfolding in time. You know, a lot of beginning creators think pacing just means the total length of the story. Like, oh, this is a 3-minute piece, so that's the pace. But as a director, you've got to realize pacing is so much more granular than that. It's the precise speed at which your story progresses, and critically, how long you choose to dwell on each individual moment. Think of it like this. Every single panel of your storyboard represents a specific beat, a specific number of seconds on screen. An emotionally significant moment, that demands a totally different beat than, say, quick background exposition.
See, as a director, you literally control time. When you have a highly emotional or dramatic shot, you want to slow your pace down. You linger. You let the audience truly absorb the gravity of the moment, drawing out that tension. But then, when you shift to an action sequence, your pacing changes instantly. You use a flurry of quick cuts. Boom, boom, boom! The pace becomes fast, chaotic, energetic, modulating between these slow, deliberate pauses and rapid, fast-paced sequences. That's exactly how you keep your audience entirely captivated and oriented in your story.
All right, Section 2, choosing effective transitions. We're stepping into the editing bay now to look at the bridges between our scenes, which are your ultimate tools for guiding audience attention.
Transitions are way more than just technical edits. They are deliberate psychological tools. They heavily influence your narrative flow. Take a simple cut, for example. It's instantaneous, it's punchy, jarring even, and absolutely fantastic for a surprise or stark contrast. But if you use it unintentionally, it just feels like a sloppy mistake. Then you have a fade out to a fade in. This acts as a really powerful signal to the audience's brain that a major shift is happening, like a massive leap in time or a change in location. You're essentially closing one chapter and opening another. And a cross dissolve, where one image slowly blends into the next, that implies a much softer, continuous change, maybe a gentle passage of time. The point is, you have to choose these intentionally to tell the audience exactly where to look and what to feel.
Let's look at a highly specific example. Imagine your story transitions from the chaotic, deafening noise of a literal war scene directly to a quiet, peaceful scene back home. You can't just slap a simple cut in there without totally jarring the viewer out of the narrative. You need an intentional, emotional beat to guide their attention across that massive divide. As a director, you might plan a dramatic audio transition, where the sound of the war suddenly cuts out entirely, plunging the audience into silence, paired with a slow visual fade into the home scene. That combination of audio and visual transition, it forces the audience's attention exactly where you want it, creating a powerful, deliberate emotional shift.
Moving on to Section 3, maintaining logical coherence. Because erratic jumps will completely break your flow.
Wait, how do we get here? If you're reviewing your storyboard with a peer or testing your narrative flow and someone asks this question, stop everything. Seriously, right there, that is your ultimate red flag. It means you have an inexplicable jump. Your audience is lost, and if they're confused, they're pulled out of the story, and if they're pulled out of the story, yep, they get bored. Coherence is both a writing task and a visual task.
So how do we fix those gaps before the audience ever sees them? Honestly, sometimes all it takes to connect two completely disconnected scenes is adding a tiny bit of bridging narration. A simple voiceover saying, "months later," or "meanwhile back at home," can completely save a scene. Alternatively, you can use a quick transitional insert shot to show calendar pages flipping rapidly to visually communicate time passing, or cut to a map to instantly guide attention to a change of location. These small, deliberate bridges smooth out the flow and keep the audience securely on the path.
Section 4, orchestrating emotion and tone. We're going to connect pacing directly to the emotional highs and lows of your narrative. I want you to think of your story exactly like a piece of music. Music cannot just be one loud, blaring note the entire time, right? And neither can a digital story. You need crescendos and decrescendos. You have to orchestrate ebbs and flows, moments of high tension followed by necessary moments of relief. If you just hammer the viewer with unrelenting action or heavy sentiment, they'll just go numb.
But on the flip side, if you give them too much breathing room, they'll totally lose interest. Planning your pacing means deciding precisely where the climax lives and exactly where the audience gets to exhale. It's a very delicate balancing act. Let's trace this out on a micro level. Say you hit them with an intense climax right at the start, but instead of just rolling credits, you transition into a quiet, reflective voiceover paired with a gentle image. Follow that up with a 1 or 2 second ambient pause, nothing but background sound, while that last image fades. See what you did there? You deliberately gave the audience a moment to let the impact of the story settle into their bones before concluding. Now that is directing.
Section 5. The table read test. Time to put everything we've built to a practical, real-world test. Now, professionals use complex story reels or animatics to test their cuts, but you can do a dry run right now. Once your script and storyboard are fully drafted, do the absolute most important thing. Read your narration out loud in real time while flipping through your storyboard images. Seriously, don't just read it in your head. Your internal clock lies to you, I promise. As you speak it aloud, you will immediately catch pacing problems. Doing this perfectly simulates the final viewing experience and lets you know exactly where you need to cut words or add frames.
And here's a little insider secret. When you actually do that table read, you're almost always going to find 2 major disconnects. First, you might find you have way too much narration for the visual frames you've drawn. You'll be reading this massive paragraph of text, but the audience is just staring at a single unchanging image for way too long. The fix? Pretty simple. Cut the words down or add more images. The second major issue is rushing the final resolution. You might suddenly realize you only allocated 1 quick image for your ending, which makes the whole thing feel incredibly abrupt. You absolutely have to slow down the ending for clarity. Which perfectly leads us to Section 6, earning your resolution. This is the final phase of our masterclass, focusing on the very last thing your audience will see.
I really want this quote burned into your mind as a creator. Stories that draw conclusions from nothing will feel unsatisfying. Your audience naturally expects a logical progression to a conclusion. Now, don't get me wrong, plot twists are highly welcome, we love them, but they absolutely must be earned. Any twist, any turn, or any major revelation at the end needs to have subtle setup and context woven earlier into the story. If it just falls out of the sky, your audience is going to feel cheated.
A genuinely successful resolution does 3 specific things to build that final insight. First, it gives the viewers a definitive sense of closure. Second, it answers, or at the very least addresses, the initial question or conflict you introduced at the very beginning of the story. And third, especially in digital storytelling, it delivers a final insight or lesson learned that clearly ties back to where we started. Pacing this ending so it doesn't come out of nowhere, but also isn't overly telegraphed and predictable, well, that's the ultimate test of your script and storyboard.
I want to leave you with this provocation, something to ask yourself on every single project. When your audience reaches the final frame of your story, when that screen finally cuts to black, what single earned emotion do you want them to feel? If you can answer that, and you use the pacing and transition tools we've discussed today to carefully guide their attention, you'll know exactly how to get them there. And cut.